Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, all students. Beforehand, let me introduce myself. My name is Ravanda Gifari Amarjalifa. You guys can call me Vandra. I'm from Electrical Engineering 2023 as one of laboratory assistant at High Voltage and Optical Measurement Laboratory. And in this module, I'm responsible for handling the two-port network or the sixth module of electrical circuit practicum. Okay, so our objectives in this module, there's two main objectives in this network module. The first one is students can determine the admittance and impedance parameters of a two-port network. And the second one, students can use two-port network circuit parameters to simplify and systematize the analysis of networks with two linear transit points. Okay, so this is our overview or our outline for this module. First one is introduction. That consists of black box approach, port relationship with terminal, and the definition of two-port network and its properties. And the second until the fifth one, we're gonna study about the parameters that can be used in two-port networks, such as impedance parameter, admittance parameter, hybrid parameter, and transmission parameter. Okay, we gonna review one of the methodical approach that we can use in two-part network. The first one is black box approach. So what is a black box approach? So black box approach is a method used to simplify complex systems or circuits by only paying attention to the relationship between the input and the output without paying attention to the details in the circuit. So for example, we have a circuit that consists of three resistors, 20 ohm, 30 ohm, and 40 ohm, that arrange in series and parallel. If you learn about mesh analysis or node analysis, you guys can already applying one of the method to analyze the circuits and find either the voltage or the input in the circuit. But in black box approach, we just we can ignore the resistors that we have in the circuit, and we can just simplify the circuits into some black box. Yes, it named after the black box approach itself, and we can just review it by the input and the output. Okay, so that's simplified terms of black box approach, but there's terms that have to be fulfilled if you want to use the black box approach in a circuit. Yeah, so black box is consists only of linear and bidirectional elements. So what is linear and bidirectional elements? So basically, linear elements is a component, an element that uh, satisfy the relationship of electrical parameters such as voltage and current, where if the voltage is increased, then the current will be increased too. And if the voltage is dropping, the current will be dropping too. So linear in by definition is, yes, they have to be bidirectional in terms of the value of its parameters. And what's the example of a linear elements? For example, we know that elements or components like resistor or inductor is linear or bidirectional elements, different from diode, where diode is called an unidirectional elements because when you apply a current that moving from left to right in the circuit, it will have a different output when we apply the current from right to the left of the circuit because of its nature, yeah. Because we have a different polarity if the diode is applied by different currents in different direction. If we go from anode to cathode, the output will be direct current if the source is alternating current. But if we apply the current from cathode to anode from the negative polarity to the positive polarity, it will cut off the current, and it will result in a different output if we apply a different uh, approach in the direction of the current. And the second one is passive elements such as resistor, inductor, and capacitor. So basically, passive elements is elements who can only absorb and store the energy in its component without really generating the energy itself. So components that can generate energy, such as power supply or generator and motor. If you learn it in the next semester, yeah, I hope. And benefits of using the black box approach is to simplify complex systems analysis and allows modularization where parts of the system are analyzed separately. Okay, next. Next is port relationship with the terminal. So before we discuss about the port relationship with terminal, we have to know the definition of terminal, port, and network itself. So what is a terminal? So basically, a terminal is an access point where the current entering one terminal of a pair of terminals will exit from the other terminal in the pair of terminals. And a port is a collection of several terminals located on the same port. So, for example, if we have two terminals right here, that one of the terminal is an access point where the current is coming out, and the second terminal is the access point where the current incoming to the terminal. And if the terminal is on the uh, same place or the same spot, we can call it a port. And a network, meanwhile, a network by its definition is a representation of a complex circuit in a simple form to facilitate the analysis of electrical circuits modeled with basic electrical parameters such as current and voltage. Okay, next. The next one is the definition of two-port and its properties. So, what is a two-port network? Two-port network is an electrical circuit system that has two input terminals and two output terminals. And for its input terminals, we can call it V1 and I1 as the incoming voltage and current. And for the output, we can call it V2 and I2 as outgoing voltage and current. Two-port network has its own properties. The first one is port condition. So the port condition has to uh, satisfy the first law of Kirchhoff, which is the Kirchhoff current law. So the amount of incoming current must be equal to the amount of outgoing current. And the second one is symmetric. So symmetric is mean that the impedance on both sides, either its input port and output port, must be the same. Because if the either side of the port is not symmetric, then it will have an effect on its measurement. If we want to measure, for example, if you want to measure the current in the output port, but if the output port is not symmetrical to its input port, then the measurement will be different, and we don't want that to happen. And the third one is reciprocal. So basically, reciprocal, the ratio of the voltage and current is uh, must be can to be reversed basically. So if we have input port and output port, then the ratio of its electrical parameters must be apply in reverse. Gitu. And the fourth one is non-reciprocal, the characteristics of current voltage and voltage direction that cannot be reversed. And it applied to independent source. So in circuit terms, the dependent source often to be drawn by a triangle, yeah. But independent source is drawn in a circle form. That's the difference, okay? Okay, next. Okay, so we will discuss about the first parameter or the impedance parameter. Okay, so before we discuss the first impedance parameter, we want to know what is a parameter first. So parameter basically is a variable that uh, that states the relationship between its independent variable, or in this impedance parameter, the independent variable is the current, and its dependent variable, or in the impedance parameter, the dependent variable is the voltage. And we applying in this impedance parameter, applying open circuit to input and output port to determine the impedance of its port, and not only the impedance of each port, but also the impedance of either port when they transfer from output port to input port, and input port to output port. So we have to determine its input impedance, transfer impedance from port 1 to port 2, transfer impedance from port 2 to port 1, and its output impedance. And the application is quite simple. For example, we have similar circuits from the beginning, where we have three resistors that arrange in series and parallel, and we assume that the left port is our port 1, or the input port, and the port 2 is our output port. So how do you solve these circuits? Basically, we just have to apply open circuit in either port. But let's assume in step one, we open circuit the port 2, and we attach a voltage source to port 1. And by applying Ohm's law to determine the Z11, or the input impedance, and we will have its value of 60 ohm. And for the third step, because the output voltage is equal to the voltage in the 40 ohm resistor. Therefore, the Z21 value will be 40 ohm. And we can do the same thing for the port in uh, port 2 and port 1. This is quite wrong, because in this port 1, we have to open circuit it, and we put or attach a voltage source in port 2, and basically we just do the same thing from the third step earlier. We apply Ohm's law to determine the parameters, and we 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 know that the Z22 parameter is 70 ohm, and we just can arrange the parameter into matrix. We receive and we can, and we here are determine the Z parameter in form of matrix. Okay. Okay, so maybe that's all for impedance parameter. The next one is admittance parameter. So basically, what is admittance parameter? Admittance parameter is the inverse parameter of the impedance parameter, because if the 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 impedance is known as Z, admittance is the inverse, or 1 per Z, and this is called admittance, which is value in Siemens. If Z is ohm, then admittance is Siemens. And we use this admittance parameter to represent the relationship between voltage and current in a two-port network by applying short circuit. So basically, the dependent variable will be voltage, and the dependent variable will be current. Then we just apply the short circuit in each port to determine the admittance input, the admittance transfer from port 1 to port 2, transfer admittance from port 2 to port 1, and the output admittance by applying short circuit, or making the voltage approaches zero in the first one, maybe in the output port, and the second one in the input port. And for the application, uh, we can just short circuit to port 2 and attach a current source to port 1, and just apply current divider ya, to determine E1 to receive the transfer admittance from port 2 to port 1, and by paralleling the fourth resistor and two resistor, because when we don't have voltage in port 2, the the voltage in resistor and the X resistor will be 0 2, and we just can parallel this two resistors, and we know the value will be four of the three of I1, and we can determine the input admittance of 0.75 Siemens, and the transfer admittance from port 2 to port 1 is minus uh, 0.5 Siemens. And we can do the exact thing to determine the transfer admittance from port 1 to port 2 and the output admittance. By applying the same thing, we just parallel this to resistor, because the voltage in this resistor will be zero, because we short circuit the input port, and we know the value of the output admittance and the transfer admittance in port 1 to port 2 is the same as the transfer admittance in port from port 2 to port 1, and we just can arrange the Y parameter into a matrix form. Okay, the next one is hybrid parameter. So what is a hybrid parameter? So hybrid parameters are used in transistor and amplifier circuits because they can relate the mixed voltage and currents between input and output. So the general equation for the independent variable will be uh, the current in input port and the voltage in output port. And for the dependent variable will be the voltage in input port and the current in output port. And by that we can apply open circuit and short circuit in we apply short circuit in port 2 and applying open circuit in port 1 to achieve or to determine the hybrid parameters. So the first one is short circuit input impedance. The second one is open circuit reverse voltage gain, short circuit for forward current gain, and open circuit output admittance. And we just can do short circuit port 2 and attach a current source to port 1, because we want to determine the variables or the parameters in uh, determining the open circuit input impedance and the current gain forward the current forward gain parameter. And we just do the same thing to the second one, where we open circuit the port 1 and attach a voltage source to port 2, and we can achieve the reverse voltage gain and the short circuit output admittance for H22, and we just can arrange the H parameter into a matrix form. And the last one is transmission parameter, or better known as ABCD parameter. So transmission parameter are parameters that used to analyze transmission circuits or circuits in power lines. And we just applying the short circuit in port 2 and open circuit in port 2 to determine the dependent variable, which is the voltage and current in port 1. And we're gonna determine the ABCD parameters. For the A parameter is the open circuit voltage ratio. The B parameter is negative short circuit transfer impedance. The C parameter is open circuit transfer admittance, and the D parameter is negative short circuit current ratio. But if you notice that for the current in the output port, the value of it is negative. Why? Because we want to make sure that the current who who moving from the input to output port, it's on the same direction, because as the transmission circuits work, if we want to transfer the current from A to B point, for example, then the direction of each current, either from the input or the output port, must have the same direction, because we don't want to the direction of the output current is coming back to the network because it will make the transmission circuits will be chaotic because the electrical will because the electrical measurement will be uh, not symmetrical, and that's why we must make sure that the current in the output port is the same direction as the input port. Okay, so the application, we just we know that we have an independent source or the voltage dependent source, and we just apply to the port 2 by open circuit, and we attach a voltage source to port 1 to determine the A parameter and C parameter. We just apply Ohm's law for determining the voltage in input port value, which is equals to 30 of the current in its port, yeah, in its input port. And because there is a dependent source on port 2, then the value of the voltage in output port becomes 17 of the current in the input port because we minus or applying KVL, applying Kirchhoff voltage law by 20 I1 minus 3 I1, and we uh, then the value will be 17 I1. And for the next step, we just substitute the voltage value of the input port and the output port to determine the A and C parameters. And we know the result of the A parameter is 765, and the C parameter is 0.0588 Siemens. Then for the next one, we will substitute with the port 2 and attach a voltage source to port 1 to determine the D parameter and D parameter. And we just apply Kirchhoff current law on node A in this node. And from the Kirchhoff current law equation, we will receive the notation that uh, state the relationship between the current input and the output current. And we just substitute the value of its output current and input voltage to B and D parameters, and we will have its value. Okay, so maybe that's all for the two-port network module. I hope all students can applying the two main objectives from each parameter, but in later practicum, you guys will only have to applying the impedance and admittance parameter. You guys don't have to applying the hybrid and transmission parameter. So maybe that's all. Thank you for watching this module video. I'm sorry if there's words that may not be completely clear, or the explanation must be not uh, completed, yeah, because some limitations that I have. So maybe that's all, and thank you, and see you in later session on this lab. Thank you.